Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for tuning in to Motivational Life Global. I'm your host, Mike. The message is the answer, in my opinion, to a sure method to self-heal your depression. A sure method to self-heal your depression is to love your flesh. Love your flesh. It's a saying, a popular saying is love the skin you're in. And I'm not going to go against the saying or say anything. I don't disagree with the saying. What I do have is a newer version of it. Maybe it may have not been a newer version of it. It could be an older version of it. But I have a different way of thinking about love the skin you're in and how to love your flesh. And I say love your flesh. The reason I say love your flesh is because the flesh holds your life, your body, your spirit. Your flesh has the ability to hold several spirits. So your spirit, there's only two spirits that should really be inside of you, and that's your spirit, that's your Holy Spirit. So what happens is the flesh actually blocks your Holy Spirit and your own spirit from you actually growing into what you're created to be, because what happens is your flesh, if and when your expiration date arrives, will stay on the earth, but your spirit will rise off up into the universe. I just want to add in too that spirits are energy. Spirits aren't like flesh. So the flesh is like the spirit is not a fan of flesh, because flesh is an organ. Flesh is alive. So you actually can get a feeling from flesh that will affect your mind, your emotions, your senses. So I don't want to say that the Holy Spirit has an enemy or anything like that. But what I will say is that the flesh doesn't have a great history in the Bible. Study the past if you would define the future. So historically, the flesh is not looked upon. So the Holy Spirit is trying to uplift you, and so that you can be your better self and prepare yourself for the next realm. Because you don't die, your soul doesn't die. Once you're born into this earth, you're onto this earth for eternity. You'll leave this earth in the flesh, and it'll be to the good or the bad, but it'll be eternally. Once your number has been called to this earth, you'll live as an eternal spirit. So now, love yourself is because you have to try to take control of your flesh. You have to love yourself. You have to tell yourself it's not just about the skin that you're in, because someone love the skin that you're in comes from it derives from someone with a lack of confidence who might not like the skin that they're in physically. And it's be confident, love the skin that you're in. And yes, I totally agree with that, with this connotation. What I'm trying to say is now though, there are individuals who are in so-called beautiful skin who still have mental health issues. They're not confident. They look confident, and they are confident, right? But there are many levels of life. And so now one has to also love who they are on the inside at this point. It's easy to look in the mirror and say, hey, you're beautiful, but you don't love yourself on the inside. So it's time that we have to balance ourselves with loving ourselves and healing ourselves. A lot of us don't have someone that you could just reach out to get this loving. The loving isn't accessible as it is with one person compared to everyone else. So we have to learn that we don't just sit in a rut and be depressed. We have to heal ourselves. We have the power within ourselves to heal ourselves. Some will say the closer you get to God is the beginning of you getting closer to yourself. But in my opinion, I feel like the closer that you get to yourself is the closer that you get to God. We got to start to understand the communication of the Father, the communication of the Creator of the universe. 100 billion universes, not just this one. This is the Milky Way. There's 100 billion Milky Ways. We're really like an ant farm to the Father. But listen, all right, so love the flesh that you're in. But, okay, no. Love your flesh. Love the skin that you're in is the comparison, but we're not comparing anything. But I do want to say there's a difference between flesh and skin. Flesh has control over you. Skin is just something that you look at. Flesh is an organ that is alive. So what we have to do is we have to kind of control our flesh. And we have to love our flesh and almost make it, we have to cover our flesh with love. And in this act, you will gain discipline over yourself. You'll learn how to have discipline over yourself, over your flesh, over your actions, over your decisions. Because the flesh can't just turn around and make you look at something. The flesh can't just turn around and make you feel something and react upon it. Then you have control over your life, and then you have control over your mind. Then you begin to lift yourself up. The next step I would say is to whatever makes you laugh, giggle, watch something that makes you laugh or giggle. Listen to something that reaches out to your heart and soul. Let the music speak to your heart and your soul. It'll uplift you. Music and comedy is uplifting, and it's healing, and it's therapeutic. Do what's therapeutic for your mind and your soul, and you'll have the power to lift yourself up